danayaazure. You guys can follow me on Instagram, Twitter. Well, I've been here on Periscope at danayaazure. That's DANAYA. Easy, or you like the Facebook page, facebook.com/danayaazure for you. Check out the website, www.danayaazureradio.com. Just kind of wanted to say, I was talking to Miss Cotton about what's going on here in Chicago, and the problem is hello. And the problem that I see is that too many people that don't live got too many opinions. It is the most frustrating thing. Hello, Deacon Does. It is the most frustrating thing in the world for everybody who does not live here to tell us what we do in our city. I don't think people understand how crazy, annoying that is. I don't think people get it yet. How it must feel to be here and know the amazing things that we do here. And we know for a fact that we have so many programs and we're doing so many great things here in our city, yet all these people over here that don't freaking live here got so much mess to talk. I need y'all to understand that yes, we have our problems. Okay? We understand that we got that, trust me. We got a mayor we can't stand, we got a governor we can't stand. But trust and believe, that's by design. Trust and believe. All these people talking about, how come Black Lives Matter? How come Black Lives don't matter on kids are killing kids, on Black folks are killing Black folks? That's a lie. Stop believing the hype. Stop believing Fox News. Stop believing CNN, because they don't know what the hell they're talking about either. That's the problem that we have. That's the problem that y'all keep on doing every freaking time. Hold on, let me turn this down real quick. I'm just talk real quick. I'm gonna see how long we stay on, because yeah, my patience level on this situation is kind of gone. Really? So I haven't even decided if I'm keeping this up yet. Hello. What am I talking about? Chicago. And I was in my girls' scope, and they were talking about, Chicago's the most dangerous city in the world, and blah blah blah. I'm like, no. They're saying it's the most dangerous city in the world. I'm pretty sure it's not. I'm pretty sure we have just as much violence as everywhere else. The only reason they give a damn about the violence that goes on here is because the president's from here. Trust and believe. Because let me go ahead and tell y'all where the term Chiraq came from, because y'all don't even know that. The term Chiraq came from the fact that we were asking for funding for the anti-violence programs that we have here, because we had a for real violence problem back in the 90s. This is nothing now. It's just getting more attention. But this is nothing. Knowledge. Absolutely knowledge. These people don't understand because you're not from here. You weren't in those meetings when they sat there and we told them, this is the anti-violence programs we're working on. These are the community programs we're working on. This is what's going to help us to build this city. And they told us, nope, you can't get that funding. We don't have a violence problem. We have a political corruption problem. Get it right, please. It's not about the violence here. It's about the problem that we have too many freaking damn politicians that are corrupt and want to see things stay the way they are because it makes them money. Violence brings dollars, baby. Oh no, you're good. You're good. No, but violence brings dollars. Let's be clear. Y'all want to sit up here and talk about, Chicago this, Chicago that. We're not the only city. We're not the only city that got problems. And y'all do know we have a big old state called Illinois. Hello. There's a state we have called Illinois. And they got issues too. But they focus so much on Chicago because Chicago's the big city, right? They're not even going to tell you about the sundown towns we have here. Do y'all know about that? That's not kids killing each other. And yeah, we have a huge problem that we have children with guns. That's a whole nother situation. But how do kids get guns? Other than the fact, I'm good, how are you? Other than how do kids get, hello. How do kids get guns? Other than the fact that an adult legally bought the damn thing in the first place. So adults are legally buying the guns, and then they're giving them to these kids. That's a whole nother issue. Because they're usually not buying them here. Because our gun laws are so strict. But people don't understand. Criminals don't obey gun laws. Thank you. How are you? It's the craziest thing in the world. Criminals do not obey gun laws. But yes, we gotta have tougher gun laws. Well, how's that working out for you? Everybody wanted the governor that had, that didn't have to get a paycheck. How's that working out for us? Why? Because he's not getting paid by the people, therefore he doesn't give a damn what we think. That's the problem. There are so many people that don't live here that got so many opinions. So many opinions. And have no clue about what goes on in our city. Because they don't live here. They didn't grow up here. There's either two people. People that don't live here, or people that come here and think they know shit. That's the problem that we have in this city. We have too many people that didn't grow up here, and so they think it's supposed to be a certain way. No. Yes, Chicago has issues. So does the rest of the country. The only reason our issues get focused on more is because of the fact your city isn't a pain in the butt. Where are you from? You know what I'm saying? It's like every city has problems. It's not just us. It drives me insane that people sit up here and talk so much about how, how we're not doing this, how we're not doing that. You have no idea what we're not doing. You want to know why? You want to know why Donald Trump couldn't come here? You want to know why? Because with everything that's going on here, all the racism, yes, there's a ton of racism in this city. Virginia Beach, okay. Yeah, there's a ton of racism in this city, but we came together and said, we have enough problems here. Donald Trump, you are not going to come in here and make the situation worse. But then the media wanted to put it like, oh, Chicago's got so many issues and they're so violent, this and that and the third, without saying that the reason that the people that were violent at that rally was because the Trump supporters were violent first. They were trying to put their hands on the students. Let's be very clear. So the reason that people are so mad about what happened in Chicago is because they were tricked by students. That rally was students from that school perpetrating like they were Trump supporters. They were tricked and they're pissed. Period, point blank. That's what it was. Hi, it's craziness. It's so crazy that people have this misconception of what goes on here because they're not asking anybody that lives here. And then when we try to tell them, they still act like they don't know. Like that one dude, is talking about, well, I did tours in Iraq. Okay, so my boy who lives here and came back here, has done 10 tours in Iraq. Yet he chooses to live here. He's been all over the world. Chooses to live here because this is his home. This is his city, right? So don't come at me with I've done all these tours, I've done this and then the third, and Chicago's the most violent place in the world. Really? We are the most violent place in the world? Okay. Last time I checked, we didn't have any mass shootings here. I'm just saying. Denver had two, not one, but two, within a 10-year period. Columbine Columbine, and everyone has different experiences and ways of handling it. Absolutely, yeah. Because Denver had two, but they're not calling them the most. Colorado had two. You know what I'm saying? One is the Columbine situation, and they had the mass shooting at the theater. But they're not getting called the most dangerous city in the world. No. People are focusing so much into well, kids got guns. Yes, that sucks. I was hoping he didn't pull. Oh, he pulled it. He pulled it, and I blocked it. I was done. I was like, how am I being a jackass? I'm trying to tell you what's going on. I'm trying to explain to you what the deal is. Like, dude, you better quit. Oh, he was talking to me. Oh, I already knew. I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm not even going to do this no more. I tried to be nice. You want to keep on saying whatever. This, that, and the third. You know nothing about my city. I'm good. Oh, yeah. I blocked him last time. I was like, no, I'm done. I don't need the patience for it. I don't care anymore. But I slept to like, I don't know what, please, but your friend. What? I'm going to need you to calm down. Hello. Thank you. I mean, thank you. It's crazy, but it's crazy though. Right. Come on, not boy. You already know. Like I said, the one thing about Chicago that I think a lot of people don't understand is like, over everything, when we connect with each other, we definitely support one another. We definitely, girl. Come on now. Favorite color? Oh, teal. You like you're a teal girl, so am I. But and that's the thing about it. Like when we connect with each other, we support one another for real, for real. That's what a lot of people don't see. That's why they get frustrated with the news because they don't show that part. Y'all are too quick to show a shooting, but you won't show the graduation. You won't show. Okay, you won't. You won't show the graduation. You won't show the kid that won the competitions. That's what you won't show, unless you can find a way to it's like a second home to you. Yeah, and that's the thing about it. Like, there are some beautiful things in the city. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I said, we have a few issues, but we have a few issues that were by design. You're in the city, yeah, so you understand. You were getting heated, but I was like, she's got a lot more patience. I would have blocked this for a long time ago, cause I can't, cause it's just like, well, look who it is. Who is this? Jonathan Chapman. What? This one here. Hey, what's good, Chi-Town? Your aunt's been there, and you've been going there since you were a baby. Yeah, exactly. Hey, Jonathan, we're just talking about Chicago. Because people keep trying to call our city Chiraq, and thank you, Spike Lee, for that dumb shit. That was not helpful. Never seen your show. Or your face. I know, that's what I'm saying. I told you weren't following me. You're like, yes, I wasn't. Like, no, you can't be. Yeah, we don't know, but yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing too. Like, so we specifically we love our city. You know what I'm saying? And so we're very protective of our city. Case in point, Donald Trump. Hot. That's why you can't come back to our city. Go ahead of Bloomington, but you can't come back here. Trust and believe that, because that didn't work out very well for you, did it? you know. Yes, love it. I love it so much because he has internal issues. Yeah, he needs help. Of course. Oh no, trust and believe, absolutely. And that's why I was trying to be chill, but then he kept on. And I understand. Like I said, my boy, who's done, oh my God, 8 tours, I believe. He's done Iraq, he's done Afghanistan, everything, done security for the president, all that. Hello, hello, hello. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I know that messed him up, but he started out. He had to go to the military because he was living the wrong life, and so it helped him to kind of see, to get the perspective, of how blessed he is here. So he always comes back home. Every single time he'll go wherever he has chosen. He's been in Arizona. He's been everywhere, but he always comes back here because this is where he is comfortable. This is where his friends are. This is where his work is. This is what he wants to do. This is where he wants to be. And I know he's had traumatic experiences. I wanted a friend that's a Marine. You know what I'm saying? So when you think about that, it's like, so for people to be like, oh, well, you're in AZ, hey. You check some, oh, yeah. Man. Like I said, I don't know, yeah. That's what you don't understand. When you go into someone else's scope, people need to understand scope etiquette. Don't argue with the broadcaster. Like, what's the point? Why would you argue with the person that you're coming? It's like when you're going to someone's scope, you're coming to their house, right? So basically, right? So basically, you wouldn't cuss somebody out in their house. Why? Because you'll probably get the mess knocked out of you. That's how this works. So why would you do it in someone's scope? What sense does that make? Is that like it's all about respect and showing love. So true. You feel me? Like it's crazy. Queen Angie, hey Queen, love you. Make sure you go to follow Queen Angie. She makes the most amazing cases. Oh my gosh. I'm just saying. But that's the thing. Like when you're coming to someone's scope, you are there because you want to hear information, hear a story, whatever the situation may be. But what you're not there to do is be disrespectful. That's how you get blocked. You were getting mad, right? You were getting mad respect, right? I appreciate that. Exactly, right? Exactly. Exactly. I think a lot of guys have this misconception that they can just come into the girl scope and say whatever. So Okay, see from the side. I'm. It's not. It's not as crazy. It's not as crazy as people think. There are certain. Now let me be clear. There are certain sections that are crazy, but that's everywhere. There are definitely certain sections that are crazy. There are certain sections that I wouldn't go in after 9 o'clock. That's everywhere. There are certain sections of Illinois, however, that I will never go in after dark, and I don't really want to go in during the day either, because they're racist. So because of the color of my skin, they're dangerous. So you gotta pick your battles, man. It's crazy. But again, that's everywhere. You just have to talk to people before you move somewhere. Talk to the people that live there, so you know what's like, where's the best place to go, what's the safest. He was trying to go. Yeah, he was trying to go in and had no clue that we're from here. No clue. Like he, I mean, I get it. He's someone that has no idea who we are or what we've done. Right? You have to be aware. You have to be aware everywhere. But here's the thing that I don't think he understood, that yeah, I just whatever. Because people are really like, oh well, but you just do jewelry. How do you know about this? Well, let me go ahead and explain. We had to all agree to disagree. Yes, I time, yes. But here's the thing about it. I've been involved in the politics. So I've been at the actual meetings. Like when Chirac, when the whole term came about, I was at that meeting. So I know exactly where all that craziness came from. I know what it was about. I'm trying, like, why are we still talking about this? I can't believe this became a term. This was specifically for us to get money, and it didn't work. Yeah. Like I said, we're like, wait a minute, you guys are throwing all this money into Iraq. Well, we got Chirac right here. That was all about getting funding. Flat out. That was the whole purpose of it. Now, you see what's talking about it like it's a real city. No, it's Chicago. It's Chi City. Let it go. Yes, we have issues here. I can't support it. I can't support Chirac. I just can't. Like, I haven't seen the movie, and I'm supposed to see it because I have one of my models is in it. But I'm not paying for it. If it comes on TV, I'll check it out, I guess. But I can't go. I couldn't. I was just like, I couldn't do it. I could not. Plus, I didn't really hear too good. My thing about the situation is that I don't understand how you can make a satire about something that is so dangerous, And that's the thing about it. Like, this is really affecting lives. Some people don't scope. We're seeing that from the shy, saying Chirac. Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. Is that you saw the movie, you liked it? Okay. I've heard both sides. I think the people that don't live here like it. Most people that do aren't really. We have a problem with it because of the fact of the way that he depicted. He made it seem like Chicago, like the South Side, was the only place that's like that has issues, and that part isn't true. Like I said, but the whole thing is, it's not just this city. The reason that this city gets so much attention is because Obama's from here. When we were telling people that we need anti-violence program funding on a federal level, they told us no. When we told people, if anybody is here, if they were around with ceasefire, Mr. Debate, to South Side or West Side, I gotta check that scope out. President Obama, yep. When President Obama was here, yeah. President Obama, this is what frustrates me about people, is that yes, he's from here, but I don't think y'all understand. He did work. He put in work for real. The reason he was able to get elected is because he put in work when he was here. How long have I been living here? All my life. Born and raised. So President Obama put in work when he was here. One of my girls that used to be the president of the organization where I was on the board, worked with him and helped him to get into office. He's from Africa. Who's from Africa? He's part Kenyan. He was born in Hawaii, right? It's like people are like, yeah, he's from Africa. He's part Kenyan. Yes, he's part Kenyan. He was born in Hawaii. Yes, you know what I'm saying. But that's the thing about it. It's like you have this misconception about the president knows what he's supposed to do. I'm like, the president has been doing stuff for years before y'all even knew his name. Before you could pronounce his name, he was doing work, anti-violence work here. That's how he got in. Was he was an organizer, so he connected with other organizers from across the country. And let's be honest. So the reason that he was able to get in was because of his networking, because of the fact that one of my girls heard get lawyers from around the country to be at every polling place. Therefore, the votes were counted fairly. If that meant you were scared to visit Chicago when you read it. Oh, no, no, no. No, he was born in Hawaii. But, oh, Angie, no, no, no. See, that's the thing. See, and that's the thing. If you don't talk to any of us, you would be scared. Because the thing about the situation is that there are, like I said, when you go to any city, there are certain aspects where people feel dangerous. Like, I'm sure, for Latinos in Arizona, I've heard. You met Obama at a breakfast in Hyde Park. Oh, that's dope. A lot of people I know, if you lived outside, you've met Obama. It's pretty cool. Exactly. Yeah, she should 51st. A lot of my family that's lived out south has met him because he was doing a lot of things, on the south side when he was working as an organizer. A lot of people that I work with have worked with him at some point. The lady on the sanctuary on here, Robin, she's met him several times. It's so funny. She has a picture where she was like, "Yeah, I met some skinny guy with a weird name. He's trying to run for Senate." And now it's our president, so it's kind of funny to see, the pictures of him beforehand when people couldn't pronounce his name, had no clue who he was. Or even from South Holland. Okay, gotcha. And so that's the thing about it. There's this huge misconception of what our city is and what we've done. And people don't know there's so many things that have started here. It's not even funny. But people want to trash us all the time because they watch the news and they're just like, "Oh, you guys are horrible." It's like that's not what it is. It's just the fact that we just get more attention on stuff. Because from what I've heard, the 90s were a heck of a lot worse. By Dixie Kitchen, yep, 51st Street. The 90s were a lot more violent than what we have now. They've put a curb on a lot of it. Our crime rate's actually gone down, but you would know that if you watch the news because they're saying that let me explain this. So it's gotten so crazy that last year specifically, the news was actually going back and giving out old numbers of shootings. Like they'd be like, "Oh yeah, we had 400 something, whatever shootings this year," and that was like the year before, 2 years before. So, so, so they want to keep people in fear because they want to make it seem like oh, we're such a crazy dangerous city and we can't control ourselves, so they can bring in the military. That's what they want. But we know Chicago is a city of workers. Chicago is a city that works. Chicago is a city of hustlers. So like we're on a grind all the time. Exactly. They trying. Oh baby, they trying. They want to bring the military. Believe me, that's the problem. Because that's more money for them. Tell me why they. Okay, so they shut down. They said we got 30. No, we were working people. Working people. Right, exactly. The news makes Chicago seem like a war zone. That's the problem. Exactly. That's the thing, and that's what I'm trying to say. Like the news makes the city look like a war zone, and that's the problem. That's the misconception. It's not. It absolutely is not. Now, don't get me wrong. There are certain sections that have their issues, and now let's be very clear. The reason that certain sections have their issues is because of the way the city is divided. So the city is divided into different. Yes, ma'am. And so what they're doing is you're gonna hear the same. What you hear is about the same area. It's always the same area. It's either south or west usually, and it's always the same area, the same like different like block of area that they're talking about, right? So that's the dangerous portion of the city that they're referring to. The entire city. There's like millions of people here. The entire city's not that crazy. Trust me. It really depends on where you are. Harvey, Illinois is yeah. Harvey, Illinois can get kind of crazy. Rosa can get kind of crazy. But the thing is, the reasoning for that is because of the fact that there are so many people that, like I said, that benefit off of the violence. That's the problem. That's why I said on my post that Chicago doesn't have a violence problem. We have a political corruption problem. Because what I don't understand is how are you going to close down 50 schools but build a block man. I'm still trying to understand why that mayor got back into why school was about. Okay. Absolutely, yeah, I definitely was going more about Chicago. I didn't know that people like really weren't that informed about it. I definitely can. Um, Knowledge is power. Absolutely, yeah. I didn't know people were like, had been that crazy. You notice that tonight, yeah. That's the thing about it. Like, I had no idea that people didn't really know about what was going on here, and they were just going off what the news said. And that's the thing about it, and that's why the people that live here, we try to inform people that it's not just us. It really isn't just us. It's just the news makes it seem that way. The side schedule, yeah. And that's the thing about it. It's like, if you really get down to like what's going on here, to be quite honest, the problem is the fact that we don't focus. Maybe you want to scope about it more, but yeah, because the thing is that the problem is we don't. The city doesn't focus on anti-violence efforts. That's why we're in the problem that we're in now. Because we focus on anti-violence efforts, you will not. I'll be a perfect example is the program Ceasefire. So remember, I'm not sure if you saw Shanice when they were talking about you in the scope. No one could pay him to move back. It depends on where he lived. It depends on where he lived. That really depends on where he lived. If he was sitting up there, okay, I'll be honest. So if you were sitting up there in the wild hundreds, if you move to the wild hundreds, and that's the name, hello. Wait, what experience did he have? If the place you move, what up? If the place you move to is called the Wild Hundreds, maybe it might be a little bit might be a little crazy, right? Huh? You from the hundreds, right? Right. You know what I'm saying? If that's where you choose to move, cause somebody told you it was an up and coming area, you might be a little disappointed. If you move into Juno Way Jungle, I think they call it, what is it, New North or something now, right? Harvey, Roseland, all that, right? If you move there, if you're moving into the spots where we're telling you, Wild 100, it's an area where it's like, I forget what the blocks are. It's far. It's like super far. It's like 100 and like, I think it was like 120th. It's super far south. Like it's like 120th, like 140th or something like that, right? Super duper far. If you're moving to the Juno Way Jungle is what they called it, right? If you're moving into those kind of areas where they're clearly saying 95th and Halstead, okay, yes, 95th and out, right? Where it's clearly saying this is kind of crazy, then you're gonna have that kind of experience. However, depending on certain areas of Rogers Park, High Park, what is it? Most of the spot. I'm in West Rogers Park, so I'm in one of the most diverse areas in the city. So I live not that far from what people call Little India. But it's not Little India. It's really more diverse than that. So I'm trying to understand why that's still. Eastern, it's Jewish, it's Puerto Rican, it's Korean, it's everything around here. We live in Hyde Park, 53rd and College, yeah. you're in Chicagoland, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, there's this whole misconception of what our city is because people are so focused on the news and the little sections that are violent. They're picking specific sections that are violent. It's not the entire city. That's crazy. It's certain blocks. I know. Yeah, it's certain blocks in the 100s. Right. Exactly. Like I said, because if you listen to the addresses, it's always that same area. Like I said, it's all it depends on where you are. I mean, we have a freaking Beverly Hills, here in Illinois. I hate that Chirac message drives me nuts. I'm like, seriously? Over East. Oh, that's over East is a different way, absolutely. Like I said, there are certain sections of there. Right. Park Forest, yeah. Like I said, there are certain sections that there are certain sections that are absolutely gorgeous. But like I said, but that goes for every city. Every place has bad areas. New York, there are certain places in New York that I've heard you don't want to go to. Actually, a lot of places in New York I've heard you don't want to go to after dark. You know what I mean? I think that's the issue that we have so many places that that are like this around the country. North New Jersey. Now, if you want to here's the thing about this that I think a lot of people don't get. We want to talk about dangerous. Now, there's dangerous for different reasons. So, like, I don't think anybody in this scope is going to Cicero anytime soon, because that's dangerous for us because of how we look. So we want to talk about dangers. I'm more concerned about going into certain areas because of how I look than getting shot. Because that's where, by some kids. That's more the problem I see. You want to talk about dangerous. There are certain places in Illinois that I'm never going to because they are clear that they want to keep that lily white. And I'm sure Trump is going there. I'm just saying. So you want to talk about dangerous, there's different reasons why places are dangerous. But to just flat out say Chicago, Palos Heights, I haven't heard about Palos Heights, but I have heard about Cicero, and I have heard about Bridgeport. Bridgeport's gotten better. It's not as crazy as it was back in the day, but it's still got its issues. Cicero, it's like Bensonhurst in New York. All white. All white. It's all white, and I think it's a little bit Latino, but it's predominantly white. And even the Latinos that are there are trying to blend to be more Caucasian. These are on that they turn the Caribbeans into high-rise, expensive condos. Oh, gentrification, that's a whole nother issue. That's a whole nother scope. Yeah, they did that. They turned the Cabrini Green into that. You're right. Moved out all the blacks. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. It is whatever you say it is. Exactly. Yep. Gentrification is a whole nother scope, Lord. Because, the biggest thing, the one thing that I can say, when it comes to, because somebody's, like, you were too done. Oh, I know you were too done with him, because I was too done. I was like, I can't do it. I'm done. Oh, yeah, that's another problem. Yeah. That's another problem. Hello, hello, hello. That's another problem, too. It's like, the city, well, let's be honest, though. Like, the city, the rules were never really for us. Pushing African Americans to the suburbs more than less. Yeah. But if you think about it, like, when you really think about it, no point in convincing and your mind's made up. Yeah, exactly. He wasn't even trying to listen. He was like, well, I'm asking somebody that lives here, but you're not listening to what she's saying. That's what I didn't get. I was like, okay, you're asking, you want to know about, you claim you want to know, and you care, but you're the person that's trying to tell you is telling you that you're wrong and you don't give a damn, apparently. I'm checking my hands getting a little sore. Yeah, countries have closed. Right, and that's just the thing about it. Like I said, the whole issue that we have is more the fact that we have this political issue than when we have the violence problem. There are certain sectors that have a violence problem, but the reason they had the reason they had the violence problem is because of politics. Because what happened is they've taken people when Cabrini Green shut down, what they did instead of actually giving those people jobs and teaching them how to high taxes. Yep, high taxes is another crazy issue. Um, but instead of giving these, oh sorry, hold on. Okay. Can you hear me now? Oh shoot, no, not that. No. Hold on. This down. Okay, cool. So great. Alrighty. Oh, really? Alright. So what happened? I mean, like with Cabrini Green was the fact that they instead of teaching these people how to get work and all that kind of stuff, what they did was they just said, okay, kicking you out of here, we're just gonna throw you into all the middle class neighborhoods so you can be disruptive, because a lot of these people hadn't worked before, so they didn't know how to take care of property and all that, and so they had this mindset that everything's gonna be given to me and I can do whatever. Try to come back in and see if that works. That's why I moved to Richmond Park. Yeah, I feel you. And that's just the crazy. And it's just crazy because it's just so much that goes in. It's so much more than just the city's violent. People have to really look into what happened. How did this craziness occur? And the answer is the politics here. That's why people were I was so frustrated when the mayor got back in. I'm like, wait a minute, this man shut down 50 schools. 50, 50. He shut down 50 freaking schools. When the police told him, if you shut down these schools, it's going to create an issue. And he did it anyways. You want to talk about a violence problem? We have a violence problem because the freaking crazy mayor we have decided that it was more important for him to open their minds to culture and understand yourself. Exactly. And when it's, oh, gotcha. Like I said, we have a violence problem because that's by design. Trust and believe that. Because I can't tell you, because anybody that's in here, you can attest, how many community programs have they shut down? How many job training programs have they shut down? One of the dopest training programs they had, called Jobs for Youth, just shut down like last year or 2 years ago. And this is a program that was working with youth ages 17 to 24, and when most people were getting out of that program, they were getting good paying jobs, like 30, 40, some even $60,000 a year. And these were quote unquote at risk youth that came into this program and learned how to write a resume, learned how to do an interview, learned all these incredible job skills, got these internships. Oh Lord, all these people that don't too many cameras in Chicago. That's a whole nother. See, that's the thing about it. These people that are on here, they don't know anything about Chicago because they're watching the news and not from here. She lives here. That's frustrating. I can't even do it. I can't even do it. I can't go. I don't have the patience for it. Because people that don't live here, or some people that do live here, you have a different perspective of what the city is. And if you don't like it here, then leave. Only problem I have with the city is our freaking politics. Because like I said, I know why the city is the way it is. Because I've sat in the damn meetings when they denied the funding for the programs that would have helped the city. Ask anybody that's in here. Y'all knew about Gallery 37, all those other programs. How many of those got shut down? How many times have they gotten shut down? How many of those programs? How many of the first thing that gets shut down in this city whenever we have a problem is the arts. That's the first thing they shut down all the time. And what does the arts do? It helps people to express themselves and expand their mind every single time. That's what the arts does. That's why I get so frustrated with a lot of these artists that are sitting up here like, I'm livid at what Chief Keef did, because what he did was he made it cute to sit up there and talk about guns and violence and all that. Meeks and Corey Brewer. So black people out. Oh man, hold on, wait. Whoa. See, hold on. She said Reverend Meeks, yes, Reverend Meeks, and and Corey Brooks. Now here's the one thing I didn't get about Corey Brooks was he was talking about that he was doing this walk around the country and this and that and the third, and we're like, but you're still fat though. How are you walking around the country and you're still? I'm not understanding that situation. Are you scared? Right? It's like sellout, complete sellout. Anybody that worked with Brown is a damn sellout. No, it isn't that crazy. Yeah. Oh my goodness, he would have been Chicago guy. He was so heated because dude was maybe, like I said, and I get it. I understand that he was a soldier and all that, right? But you should have, and that's the thing. If you were a soldier, you should have even more empathy, because you've seen stuff that we can't even imagine. So you should understand the pain of what's going on. Obviously, areas that aren't the best, right? But it's cool. Exactly. Oh, watch the replay. Go ahead and watch the replay, because that boy there. She has more patience than I do. She has way more patience than I do. Like I said, it's not a situation where, yeah, and that's the thing. Like Mrs. Cotton was saying, let's leave it up to him. Meeks is such a sellout, and he hasn't. And since Rauner's gotten in, he hasn't been anywhere. You can't find him or Corey Brooks because they know they're screwed up bad. That's the thing. A lot of people don't understand that it's like it's not just about what you hear. You have to do the knowledge. You have to do the research. He got a job. What does he do? He does something now. I forget. Corey Brooks wasn't doing nothing because what frustrates me about Corey Brooks is that I had high hopes for him too before he did that walk, because he was like, when he was gonna build a youth center, head of state. Gotcha. But like Corey Brooks talking about he was gonna do a youth center and all that, and I haven't heard of no new youth centers popping up. I've heard of them taking a lot of them away. I've heard of them pulling funding from youth centers. I've heard of them pulling funding from arts programs. I've heard of them pulling funding from job training programs. That's what I've heard of on multiple occasions. That's my thing about the situation. If you're saying, oh, Chicagoans are lazy, which is wrong. Oh, they pull job training programs like they're going out of style. They pull funding so quick from art programs, it's disgusting. But they'll throw money into sports, and they throw money into prisons. That's what we do here. That's the problem that we have. It's not that we have a huge violence problem. We have this huge political problem where they will throw money at all the wrong stuff. Because they even cutting funding for Lane Tech. Y'all know, if anybody knows about Lane Tech High School, they're like, what do you mean we getting funding cut? How the hell this happen? You know what I'm saying? They are pulling money like left and right for all the wrong programs. They're claiming that we're broke. Yeah, we don't get paid off Lollapalooza. The city itself does not get paid off of Lollapalooza. All the money that is made here goes to private companies. It does not get put back into the city. And they make billions of dollars on that one event. They closed 50 schools. 50. After the police told them, this is going to increase your violence problem if you do this. This might not be the best idea. The police said, don't do it. It's going to increase your violence problem. Yet they closed the 50 schools. But how did he get back in the office? I'm still trying to understand that one right there. Lincoln Way East. Because like I said, now the country can see that we're not just sitting back and doing nothing. It's gonna be a mess. Hello. It's gonna be a mess when the teachers strike next month. Because they're gonna strike. Because the city won't work with them. They have no choice. They're like, the teachers have to buy paper for their students. They have to buy the basic necessities for their kids. Because we don't have it in the budget. What is that freaking lotto supposed to be doing? People are spending billions of dollars in that lotto that was supposed to be going to schools. So what is happening with that? I'm confused right now. It makes no sense. Well, it makes perfect sense, but I mean, in general, it makes no sense. It's not helping anyone. It's crazy frustrating. And I think the biggest thing about this whole situation is that people just don't get it. Because if you don't live here, then you don't care as much as we do. And if one more person gives me the whole conversation of, why don't Black Lives Matter when it's black on black crime? Please stop. Because I've been to organized more rallies than y'all could ever think of. Thank you. I'm glad I could teach you a little bit about, what's going on here. Because like I said, I have a different perspective because I've actually been in the meetings. And I've actually, organized stuff like the Cook County Pro President. I actually helped to get her in the office because when she was the alderman, I was on the board of this organization that was called Organization of the Northeast. And so I was doing multiple speaking events. And so when I would speak, we were trying to get a housing law passed, right? The Affordable Housing Act. So the Affordable Housing Act, we originally were asking for 30% on, affordable housing for, for, oh my goodness, I forget, for 30% of the new housing be affordable, right? New developments and whatnot. So what we got at the very end was 10%. But the cool thing about her was when every other alderman that we had talked to had meetings with it, agreed that they would only say yes to a certain amount, backed out. Only her and one other Alderman Ocasio, were the ones that said no. We're still saying no. This deal still sucks. We don't agree with it. So when my friend John asked me if I wanted to work on her campaign, I said absolutely, because I couldn't stand Todd Stroger. Because when I met Todd Stroger, the very first thing that fool said was what his father did. So I was too done with him. I was like, what are you supposed to do? I'm sitting here ready to vote Republican because you're a dumbass. Oh, hell no. So when it came time to get him out, I was so on board. And we were able to get him out. But in that process, we get to see all the BS and all the lying, the trickery, and all the people that claim they care, claim they're gonna do something and don't. Yet I'm sitting here with someone who got 18 years in the game as an alderman, doing what she's supposed to do. Why wouldn't I jump on board to help her get in office? That's why she's sitting up there still doing what she's actually going to do. And the last time we had an election, she got the largest approval rating in the state because she's on her job, and I knew she would be. So I know a lot about politics and about advocacy work because that's what I've been doing since I was 20 years old. So when people try to tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm like, well, I sat up there and did the research, and I've presented on this in other states. So I need you to understand that I do know what I'm talking about because I've done the work, and I've seen where the programs have gone wrong, and know what we could do to make this better. But they don't want to do that because they're making money off of this. Like I said before, we have a brand new fancy prison that was created, and it's a digital prison. I'm praying to God no one hacks it, because that's a whole nother problem. I can't believe we were dumb enough to build a digital prison. And the whole thing is, like, their whole thing is, oh, we're keeping the bad people away. But the amount of people that are locked up now, that are locked up for non-violent offenses, is deplorable. And that's what needs to change. The laws that we have of all these people that are locked up for simple drug offenses is horrible. It is deplorable. The amount of people that are locked up currently for non-violent offenses. Yet people that have severely violent offenses keep getting out. I have a huge problem with that. And if I ever decide to get back into politics, that would probably be the one thing I'd focus on. But politics is frustrating, especially here. Really freaking frustrating. There are very few people that I would work with, if they wanted to get in office. Because it's a headache. So if I was going to work with someone trying to get in office, I would have to know them personally and know that they are actually trying to make a difference for real. That's why I don't worry about Christian Mitchell. I've met him multiple times. He's a good person. He got his spot locked because he's a good person. And he's still fighting for people, because that's what he's been doing since he was working under President Obama. Like, he worked side by side with the president. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, a lot of people have this misconception that just because I do jewelry and I talk about happy stuff, that's just who I am. Nah, the jewelry came later. The advocacy started when I was 9. I actually started working in politics when I was 20. And that was only because of being an advocate. Because you can't do one without the other. Whether you hate politicians or not, everything is politics, especially here. So you have to understand politics at some point in order to get anything done here. So, but that's just my thing about the whole situation. Hello, hi. Invited followers, hello. But that's just the whole thing. It's like, it's crazy because it's like there is this huge misconception of what's going on. Hello, hey. There's a huge misconception of what's going on because people don't know, because they're not from here. They don't know about our politics. They don't know a damn thing about our politics. They go by what they've seen on TV. We don't do that. Everybody else does, though. Like, I got so frustrated when people talking about, oh, Chicago this, Chicago that. Like, a lot, especially when it comes to, like, music, the news, right? I'm like, man, your city did XYZ. I'm like, my city? Wait, didn't y'all just have a shooting over there? What the hell? Why is it so focused on Chicago? It's like, oh, right, because Obama's here. Otherwise, y'all didn't care. We had an issue with violence. We had an issue with violence, whatever, for years. Didn't nobody care? Wasn't nobody putting funding here? Wasn't nobody trying to fix it? Y'all did not care. There was no care in the world. In fact, the exact political language that was used when we were asking for funding for anti-violence programs the term was pork, which basically means useless. That's a useless program. Anytime you hear anybody in politics talking about pork, they ain't doing nothing with whatever they said it for. You want to know why our former governor's locked up? Because he decided, or part of the reason, is that he decided to have a tantrum and take his little red pen and destroy lives. He literally cut every single community program of whatever senator that wasn't agreeing with him. What? Where they do that at? Every single, he just took a little bit, yeah. He took a little bit of pen and just said, I'm cutting every single program of everyone that doesn't agree with me. I'm like, is that even legal? No, but it was done. And here we are sitting up here trying to figure out why ceasefire can't run. Ceasefire can't run because they're asking for money every 6 months. How do you have people on salary when they're trying to figure out where they're gonna be every 6 months? It doesn't work that way. You can't build a team that way. You can't have the team build trust with the community that way. But we thought that was a good idea. We want to blame the program. No, we blame the process. You never let the people that were in the program actually grow. And we'll push. Yeah. Rainbow Push. Oh, Jesse Jackson. Yeah, that's a whole nother scope. We have a lot of political leaders. Come on. Rainbow Push does things. Jesse Jackson's a different story because he picks and chooses what he wants to do. I have the same problem with Al Sharpton. Picks and chooses what he wants to do. Al Sharpton's one of them that Al Sharpton's really bad. Al Sharpton's really bad because he doesn't come around unless the cameras are there. I know this for a fact because if you guys remember, when they had the issue, oh my God, when they had, I think it was in Missouri when they had the issue down there, and they had all the different camera crews that were down there. That was the first thing they said. Y'all weren't coming down here before. Y'all didn't care. Flint, Michigan, we ain't even finna. I don't even have enough time to talk about Flint because the biggest Michigan is I didn't know this, but I heard about this from Michael Morris has a blog. And did you guys know that Nestle water company is in Flint? So they had clean water they could have been given to the people. Nestle has their water company in Flint, Michigan. There was no excuse for this situation to happen. And they said what happened was that they actually pulled the water that they pulled for Nestle is part of the reason that Flint had this issue. Is because they were draining their water source. So like I said, you guys have to pay attention. It's like a lot of what's happening, it's by design, and you have to pay attention to that. It's not just, something happened one day. No. So that's been planned out. And so you gotta watch what you're saying, watch what you're watching. Because the news doesn't know everything. They're not gonna tell you everything. Like I said, anybody that lives here, we know that there's tons of amazing events that should be broadcast and get a ton of attention. And they don't. But you know how many kids got shot. You know how many kids got shot, but you don't know how many got harassed because they were wearing the wrong outfit or whatever the situation is, right? Like you don't know how many girls are sitting up there and committing suicide because of the bullying that's going on. You don't know that kind of stuff. They won't focus on the real shit. Like the real shit is the problem that we have. The real problem we have in Chicago, especially with young women, is that they think that they have to act a certain way in order to get a boyfriend. And so when you have that kind of a mentality, and they think money, right? And they're very money driven, but it's the wrong kind of money. A lot of us, we have the whole situation of we're good with fast money, but a lot of these kids don't understand where that leads to. If these kids were to visit morgues, I promise you they would be like, oops, maybe we don't want to do this. if they really understood where their money led to, they wouldn't do it. That's why they get these young kids 10, 11 years old, because they don't understand. They don't know the game. They have no clue. And because if these, like I said, if these kids were about their money for real, they'd understand that you don't jail, paralyzation, and death. That's it. That's what it leads to. Period. Point blank. And if these kids were about their money for real, they'd understand that when you shoot up the block gets hot and nobody gets paid. So what are y'all doing this for? What are y'all shooting? Like, why are y'all going crazy for? You're not trying to get paid. That's not the goal, obviously. Nothing. It's pointless. It's absolutely pointless. And like I said, yes. And let's be very clear. People talking about, kids got guns in Chicago. I've seen a couple pictures way outside the state where kids are learning to use guns. So these kids don't even know how to use the guns. They just have them because they've been given to them by people, and they were given to them by people that bought them legally. That's a whole nother problem. But that is the problem. People can learn how to use something all day. That doesn't mean they're going to use it. They're not shooting a Cicero, right? They're not shooting at they're not. They probably are shooting a Cicero. They're not shooting up. They're not shooting up like that in Cicero. But like I said, if we want to get to the root of the problem, is the fact that we have this misconception. We have a problem with. I'm saying we have a problem with the fact that we think that it's okay to tear up our stuff. We have a huge problem with not supporting our neighborhood stuff. That's the bigger problem that I see here. The reason people are broke in Chicago is because y'all won't support the neighborhood stuff, but y'all too quick to go out to the suburbs. Y'all too quick to blow serious money in the suburbs, but you won't do it in the city. Too quick to blow your money at Walmart, but you won't go down the street. And there are some super dope businesses in the city. I've worked at a few. I've supported multiple. That's the problem. But they don't want to talk about that part about it. The reason that we can't get things economically straight in the city is because we're too busy working outside the city. That's the biggest problem that we have here. It hasn't been right since Harold Washington died. You're right, absolutely. Because they never wanted to have another black mayor again. That has been the goal since Harold Washington passed. They never want another black mayor, because what happened was y'all know how many black celebrities that are from here. You know how we know, because they have their funerals here. Over by 78th and Cottage, every black celebrity comes here to get buried. Y'all know this for a fact. Because Chatham used to be this amazing middle class area. They made sure everybody. They made sure that it wasn't going to stay that way. They made sure to tear down those powerful black African American areas. They made sure of that, because there was so much power in that area. There's so much power of African Americans on the south side. They made sure they couldn't have that. We can't have powerful black folks in the city. Oh no. People that are going to make some actual change here? This is people with degrees and dollars that can do some real work. Can't have that. Not in the Chi. Like I said, when people want to talk about the problems that we have here, so much power. We still got power. The reason that, what you call it, not Barack, I'm sorry. The reason Rahm got back in is because the Black Caucus gave him the vote, threw the vote at Rahm. I was like, why? Factory Club, Wait, what about Factory Club? Um, you mean factory like? I know there. Yeah. Oh yeah, there were factories. There were factories all over the South Side. Yep. Like I said, Rom had. I still can't understand how Rom got back in. I really don't get it. I swear I don't know how that fool got back in. Wait, really? I mean the club factory. When? When was that? That's crazy. And that's just the thing about it. It's like there's so much more that's going on than just the violent situation. But like I said, if you're not from here, you're not gonna know that. All you're gonna believe is what you've been told. Oh, if the factory closed down, oh, I'm sure people are not happy about that situation. Mm-mm. And that's another thing too. Nope, we're gonna go into that another day because anybody that's been here knows about our issues with right our issues when it comes to trying to do positive things for Black folks in the city. How that works out, yeah, we're gonna go into that one. Okay, I'll say a little bit. I'm not gonna get all the way into it because that's a really long scope. The problem that we have here is we've been pigeonholed into certain areas to throw events, and so when we go outside of those areas, it's a problem. Perfect example. I'm just gonna be real quick. There's a place called Pressure. It's a pool hall up here. We had some super dope R&B, chill, beautiful music. I promise you couldn't hear the music unless you were 3 doors away from the bar. This is a bar, mind you. Anybody that's been at Wrigleyville knows that gets a Wrigley. I mean, you can hear that shit blocks down the street, right? Loud as hell, disrespectful, cursing, whatever, screaming, fighting, all that. They don't get a call from the cops. Now, mind you, the bar that we were at, the bar slash pool hall, whatever, has been there for Jesus. Okay, before it was a bar and a pool, before it was a pool hall, it was just a straight bar. So if you lived in that area, you knew what it was. You knew there's gonna be a little bit of noise, whatever, right? Tell me why. The last event we had there, the cops were called. Now I promise you, the music was so quiet you had to be on the block to hear it. Wait, what? I'm confused. Hold on. Someone said gay. I don't know what happened. Hold on 1 second. That's Boys Town, but that's a whole other scope. Because Wrigleyville is not, but Boys Town, that's a whole other thing. Yeah, I know. I'm about to. Okay. Yeah, I'm about to get off anyway. So thank you. Love you. Make sure you guys are following Miss Cotton. She's amazing. Love her. She's a phenomenal design for you supporter, client, just beautiful person. Make sure you follow that amazing queen. Alright, y'all. I'll hit you tomorrow or later on today. Good night. See you soon. Yes. Yes. And that's just the thing about it. Like, so, we had the cops called and all that craziness, and it's just like, this is the problem that we have here. This is the problem we have here. Our violence issue was different, but that's the problem that we have here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here because I need to get some kind of sleep at some point. So you guys can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Blab, and here on Periscope at danayaazure. That's danayaazure. Like the Facebook page. Good night. So it is Paul. Good night, Paul. So danayaazure. Like the Facebook page, facebook.com/danayadesigns for you, and check out the website www.danayadesignsforyou.com. Make sure to pick up your copy of HFL magazine that just dropped on Monday, actually a week ago. So it has former Milwaukee Bucks Kenyon Glover on the cover, as well as articles from 2 amazing Chicago divas. So we have Diva Casey Bizboss, who is on Periscope. She's amazing. Make sure you guys follow her. As well as my diva Bella Nina. She is beautiful. She used to be in the military, and she is now an actress, model as well as an engineer, doing some incredible things, as well as so many amazing, powerful stories that are in this issue. So pick up your copy of HFL magazine at www.k4sent.com. That's www.k4sent.com. The magazine is available in digital and in print as well. So I am danayaazure. Thank you so much for coming to my scope. I will be scoping tomorrow, maybe a little bit about Chicago and talking about the policies that we have here, so you guys can get a more of a view. Because apparently people on here didn't know what was going on with our city. So I'm gonna give you guys more tips about what's going on, and what you guys need to do in order to help. How can you support? How can you be positive here? There's tons of things you can do, but you gotta get that knowledge, right? So, alrighty, I'm gonna go ahead and get on out of here. But you guys have an amazing night. Take care.